Hi, I'm Eric Judy.
And I'm Dick Van Dyke. We want to talk today about planning for retirement and what age you should actually plan for. Eric, there's a lot of thoughts on that.
Well, there are, and the funny thing is, we look at an article from CNN Money. It says, do I really need my money or my savings to last until 100? And we're talking about life expectancy and averages, and I think there's a really great quote here, and it talks about planning using averages. And the guy, the tale of the statistician who drowns in crossing a river with an average depth of 3 feet.
How can you drown in 3 feet of water, Eric?
Well, of course, the rub here is that the stream is shallower near the shore and it's 12 feet deep in the middle. So when we take this same kind of story and talk about life expectancy and talk about averages, well, do you use the averages, which is in this case the 3-foot stream, or do you plan on the 12-foot hole in the center?
Right. Well, and I look at so many of the financial crises that we've been in, the recessions, that every time a recession or a financial crisis or something hits, it's not what we're expecting, it's not what we have seen in the past, it's what we're not expecting that gets us.
Well, this happens once in 100 years. How many times have we heard that? It's a flood or it's a, well, can you afford to be the once in 100?
Well, think about property values. I mean, we can just put all the money we want into housing because property values have never fallen.
Right. What's the expectation here? How long do you expect to live? Well, life expectancy. Everybody works with averages. Well, you should live. We've got numbers in front of us here. You're age 65.
You're going to live, if you're a male, another 20 years maybe.
If you've made it 65, the odds are the expectancy is 20 years. Women, 22 more years.
22, right, a couple more years.
But now if you package the two of them together,
then it's
there's a
60% chance you're going to live to 90.
At least one of you will live to
age 90.
So how do you plan for life expectancy or for your basically your financial future as a retiree when you have an unknown number?
Well, and the title of this article is Should I Plan to Live to be 100? And my answer to that is, unless you have some known physical ailment that's likely to take your life right away, that it doesn't hurt to plan to live to 100, because how many people that have reached 100, and like I've taken a real scientific survey here, how many people that have reached 100 planned to reach 100?
Well, and that's
very few.
Exactly. The problem is, what's your expectation for what you're going to do in retirement if you do live that long? Do you have you prepared for that unlikely
eventuality? And if we do plan to live to 100, and that's really what I do with my clients, is I graph it out up to 100 usually. And if we do live to only be, say, 85 or 90, but we plan for 100, that doesn't hurt a thing.
No, and that's what we usually talk about in financial planning. Use at least a portion. Plan for that foundation.
Right.
Make sure that you have that foundation covered, and that's why we like the use of annuities a lot of times, because it takes out that element of unknown of knowing when you're going to pass.
Well, it covers what we call longevity risk, and that is one of the things that is one of the biggest unknowns in retirement. In how long are we going to live? And that's where an annuity, we can fall back on the tried and true annuity, the immediate annuity. And that's been used for many, many years. In fact, we've talked about it going clear back into the Roman Empire days when it was called the annua. But it's proven itself, the immediate annuity. And especially in this day and age, if we can get an immediate annuity that's got a cost of living adjustment built into it.
Well, and that's where we're going through a generational change here. We're going through from this pension era where almost everybody had a company or pension that would last for your lifetime.
Cradle to grave.
Yeah. Now we're in this 401k market where all of a sudden everybody has these dollars that they've saved up during their working years.
And it's their responsibility to know what to do with it.
And that's, how do you position those retirement dollars properly to make sure that you don't have these issues?
Well, and then there's the aspect of, I've saved this money all of my life. I've got $500,000 or more or less, but I don't want to just give that away to an insurance company for a pension that if I die early, I'm going to lose it. And so this is where the hybrid annuity has come into play, and it's kind of like a cake, your cake and eat it too annuity,
Right.
where you can actually not only have a guaranteed lifetime income, which many times is pretty darn close to the immediate annuity, yet you still have access to your principal, the original premium you put into it. So you would be able to get to a large portion of, say, that $500,000 that you put in if you needed it in the early years.
Right, and I think that's the key there. In the early years,
Yes.
it's obviously what you're using it for is you're safeguarding the opportunity or the
Right.
chance that you will live a long time.
Right.
And that's what it's primarily
Well-
there. But then it also creates flexibility, so
Exactly.
you haven't just sunk it into an income stream where
Yeah.
if you're gone,
Yeah.
the money's gone, your heirs don't get anything.
Right, your heirs can still receive the money, and obviously we wouldn't touch that money if we were living and relying on it for a pension. We would not touch it unless there was some extreme circumstance. But I think this is what so many folks, when it comes to buying an immediate annuity, like better about the hybrid annuity, is that we just don't know what eventualities might come up that we would need that money, and if
Right.
if we've given up full access to it, then there's no possibility of
Right,
that.
and that's where you create the flexibility, and that's really what the
Right.
hybrid is kind of great at. An immediate annuity, you can set it up so that you'll make sure you get your money back.
Right.
A lot of times, and we've seen that done
Right.
with basically cash refunds or such. But the hybrid has a much higher degree of flexibility
Yes.
in the components of it.
Well, and one thing that we've seen with the hybrid annuity is that you can actually ladder that, where an immediate annuity, you buy it today. You buy it, you set up your income stream today, or you buy it later, and you don't know exactly what rates or where things are going to be. But with a hybrid annuity, you can take and you know that you're going to get a roll-up on that, so that your income account will continue to grow and produce a much larger income. And if you ladder these so that you stagger them out 5 years, 10 years, even 20 years, you know that you're going to have a very sizable income that you cannot outlive.
Okay. All right. Big answer here now. All right.
Okay.
Should we plan to live to 100?
I'm going to. How about you?
I'm hopeful, and I will be hopeful to live to be 100. And yes, I will be planning to live a good long life.
And I think that folks, you really should, unless there is something that health-wise would say that you're really not going to live a long life. If there's any possibility that you could live a longer life, I think it would be better to plan like you're going to live to age 90 or age 100, and be prepared rather than not.
That's right. So be prepared. Thanks for tuning in.
Thank you.